Second maze, purple. Ambra was in a lush, verdant forest in a village set in a clearing, with a few dozen huts and some common areas all close together. Grey smoke was rising from a fire in the centre of the clearing. Small groups of people went about their daily lives, speaking a language she could somehow understand, and she knew she was part of this tribe who protected and nurtured each other, who kept danger at bay, and who kept the gods happy. Her kin began to gather around a fire, feasting on freshly roasted meat and brightly coloured fruits and berries, which were arranged near the fire in clay pots. After the food, the elders began to discuss an issue facing the tribe. Earlier that day, Ambra had found an exquisite, bright blue stone the size of her palm. She had stumbled across it while searching for medicinal plants. Never before had she seen anything like it. A stone the colour of the sky, threaded with gold. The sunlight made it glitter. In accordance with tradition, she had brought it to the clan council for the elders to contemplate. It was not the first time she had yielded a treasured find. The chief identified her to the whole tribe as the person who had found this unusual item. Yes, she had found this important item. She was proud. After more than an hour's animated conversation about the fate of the stone, it was decided to sacrifice it to the gods by sending a special delegation to the top of the fire mountain, a few days' walk from her village. Each full and new moon, the tribe elders conducted rituals with offerings to appease the gods. Though the last eruption from the fire mountain had happened before she was born, she had heard stories of what happened when it was enraged. Yet the tribe's precious gifts of appeasement had failed to stop the gods from raining rocks and ash on the village. Still she watched, simmering with resentment, as the elders bundled up the stone, her stone, and made arrangements for a delegation to depart 3 days prior to the next full moon. Ambra knew the law. Anything any tribe member found belonged to the whole tribe, and it was the role of the elders to decide its fate in a way that would benefit the whole tribe. Yet Ambra had become frustrated with this aspect of tribal life. She felt it was not fair. She had found the stone. It should be hers. Wild plans entered her head. She would follow the delegation and ambush them. No. She would find a way to convince the elders that the gods had already shown they favoured the forest tribe by providing them with the blue stone. It was surely magical. And as a medicinal healer who was learning her craft, she could argue that the stone remained in her custody. There were other ways to keep the peace, to placate the gods besides sacrificing things that were precious. Why couldn't the stone at least be traded for what the tribe needed? Ambra called out in a loud voice, in the unfamiliar tongue she was able to speak. As she spoke of her ideas, the chief elder's face became darker and darker. She realised the rest of the tribe were looking at her with a sense of unease. She hesitated. The chief did not speak. There were dozens of angry eyes looking in her direction. They were moving towards her. Ambra's nostrils flared. She had had enough of these foolish elders and their stubborn clinging to old ways and rituals that were not bringing the tribe any advantage. Ambra pulled her weapon, a knife she used for gathering plants and herbs, from its sheath around her waist. In that moment, the murmur of unrest erupted into a rumble of outrage at the sight of her knife, and just as the angry tribesfolk rushed at her, the world dissolved. She was back in the MAGE cave again, awash now with the purple glow from the lanterns. Though she had been seconds from an almost certain physical attack at the point at which the world dissolved, she was relieved as she emerged from the forest, and not just because she was out of danger. She was still tense. Her heart rate was up. Or was it only a sensation she was having, as the purple lanterns faded to a soft pink, then turned blood red? Again, the world dissolved.